of this town. I'm the ants inside your walls, the quiet knocking on your door. It's not your story to write. Scratch out your words in the night. When the writer is in doubt, I turn to come out. Twisted and cool.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to The Siege, or good morning. Good evening. And welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and the first 2 days of the week. Hello. Let me switch to live here. Give me just a second. Hi. How are you all doing? Hello there, Pink Cat. How I am? I am fantastic. I'm actually looking forward to watching this showcase in a minute. And welcome in everyone looking in the shadows and slowly moving in here from all the sides. And also, of course, for all the people who are watching this later on the YouTubes as a VOD, welcome in. If you're new here and you don't know necessarily how this works, this is the Mole in the Morning part, where we are talking a little bit about nearly everything which has to do with gaming. And then we are doing the things we came here to do, like watching the InZOI live stream. That happened yesterday at, oh boy, 2 a.m. in the morning, my time. And, well, that was a little bit too late, so I didn't watch it. I'm on a completely media blackout. I didn't read any Reddit, news websites, anything, so I absolutely know nothing about what they have announced, and I want to keep it that way, so no spoilers. And then we are watching this all together. Hello there, Sakura. Hello there, Mr. Moosey. How are you all doing, folks? It's good to see you. Welcome in. And I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. Yes, I have made some videos on InZOI so far, and I am definitely interested to see more. Quick note, I've been trying to reach out to Krafton about it, but apparently I'm too late. I have to admit, and this is me just being an absolute dingus, as you know, me and dates. So for whatever weird reason, I thought InZOI is next month and not by the end of this month. So it completely slipped my mind, as per usual. And then I realized, oh shoot, it's this month, not next month. I should get a move on. Less sleep than I prefer, but that becomes normal. I'm sorry. It's kind of weird. I have similar issues as of late. My body has, like, normally I'm somebody who I'm sleeping easily for like 8 to 9 hours, no problems. Like, yeah, I wake up, especially when I'm in the light sleep phase, to go in the toilet and all that. But then I'm also somebody who has zero issues to fall asleep again, right? I can basically sleep everywhere at any point. And for the last like 2 weeks or so, my body is like, hey, so you did go to the toilet, huh? Mm-hmm. So do you want to stay awake? No, because we only slept 6 hours. I would like to sleep another 2 or 3 hours if we can. Mm, yeah, I don't. It's not helping. It's not helping. That's a conversation I have with my body and my brain. And yeah, yeah, not helping. Um, so yeah, I feel ya. I feel ya was my point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm looking super forward to InZOI. I have tempered expectations. It really comes down to this showcase. Interestingly enough, like I'm curious to see what they will offer from a price tag. I expect, this is my personal opinion, I expect $40 they will ask. It will go into early access. We will see how they're handling that. Like I'm really looking forward to see a lot here. And I know that some people already know the answers to all of this. Even though I'm asking those questions myself, I do not ask them directly to you, so please don't answer. I know some people sometimes think that um, I'm talking to them when I'm asking a question, and sometimes it's just bringing my thoughts outside. And yeah, I went to bed at 10. Sleep came after 3. Okay, that's thankfully not my problem. I went to bed yesterday at like 1:30, about 1:30 my time. And I'm always somebody who is immediately like after 10 minutes. It's rare. It's rare that I cannot sleep. So yeah, I'm good. Like again, normally my sleep rhythm is fantastic. Fantastic. It's one of the things which work. Sleep works. Everything else, problematic. Problematic. Questionable. But sleep, I normally can count on that, which definitely is something. Um, what else? Oh yeah, after we are done, folks, we might, depending on the time and all that, we might play some more City Skylines. Which also got the 10-year anniversary patch yesterday, with some big bug fixes. Still, oh god, there's so many bugs in that game, unbelievable. And some other stuff they added, so we might check that out on Friday. Um, Depending on when the release is, I don't have the release time, don't I? On Friday, we have Kaiser Punk coming out. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Oh, shit. It's coming out when I'm going live on Friday. Oh, perfect. Oh, freaking perfect. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Looking forward to that. So if anyone is like, oh, Kaiser Punk, what is that? Um, let me show you a super quick trailer here. This one is so basically it's an anno, right? So you're building your city, you're building your empire like an anno. But there is also the Hearts of Iron component, where you have diplomacy, trade, different factions, and then you can also go to war on, as you can see here, the world map, And this is the whole like Hearts of Iron thing where you're moving around armies and trying to capture other territories and all that. Yeah, it looks like super interesting. Super interesting. It's coming out on Friday. But yeah, I had an eye on this game for a while, and now it's coming out on Friday. So this seems to be right up my alley, and yes, we will stream that. That's right. I'm sold. Me too. This is why we'll stream it on Friday. Haha. Kaiser Punk. Yep, Kaiser Punk. It's called. It's on the Steam stem. I don't think we know the. Oh no, I think the price was $30. I think they said, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think the price tag is $30, if I'm not mistaken. I think they said that. Let me see. I'm pretty sure they said that. I think they said that price for the full release version is set to be $29.99. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's coming out when I'm starting my stream. So, oh, a hot release. Ugh, I hate hot releases. But it's not a big game, so it's not like I have to download like 100 gigabyte and then just sit here and hope that Steam is not dying on me and is only giving me like 5 megabyte per second or something stupid like that. So we should be fine after we are done with Mole in the morning. I don't really see a big problem. What we might check out tomorrow, depending on how I'm finishing all my other stuff, video wise. We might have a stream tomorrow checking out the InZOI studio. So basically, you can create your character before the game is coming out next week, and you can already build, which is interesting. So it's not just character creation, it's also like you can already start doing building for InZOI. And I would like to check that out. I would like to get accustomed to that and maybe build something I always like to build in those type of games. So we might actually gonna do that tomorrow. But that depends if I get a key or not, because again, no connection to Crafton, but they're giving out keys on the Twitch, and I want to see if I can grab one. There are apparently some limitations. What is it nowadays with those stupid Twitch drops which have limitations to it? Like, I remember, when was it? Was it Marvel Rivals? Was it Marvel Rivals? I think it was Marvel Rivals last year. We had like the beta, and if you wanted to get into the beta, you had to grab a key, and the keys were limited per day. I think they had like 10,000 keys per day. And if you like, the keys were basically gone in like 2 minutes. It was insane. It was absolutely insane what they did there. And I see this more and more happening with like some giveaways that they are limited. It's like, oh, blimey. It's like not a great way to do this. I know this is how they want that people are coming. They want to come people back, but it's also pretty stupid, because people will then leave when the keys are gone, right? because when they already know, oh, the keys are gone, well, then they don't have to watch it anymore, and then they can only back next day. It's not as great as they think, but that's my opinion. So who cares, right? Yeah. What else? So next week we have InZOI as a release, right? And I'm definitely looking forward to it. And we will definitely make a little bit more content about it. And I know some people will be like, but Mo, I thought this is a strategy games and management channel. Well, technically, Sims games are falling under two categories, in my opinion. It's RPG or strategy and management. Like live sim games are so interesting because they do have like the strategy building, the managing of your funds. Like you have to like collect stuff, build stuff, right? Like there is definitely a strategy part in it, but there's also a huge um, RPG aspect to it, and so it's like it's tough to put it into a certain category. But I decided it should be under the Mole Under Management label, and also because I have already stuff going on the Mole RPG channel, and I don't wanted to cram that in there. We're doing quite a bit of Subnautica 2. I'm pretty much looking forward to Titan Quest 2, which will probably go into early access in the next few weeks. So I didn't want it to cramp in another thing there. And believe it or not, um, the Mole Under Management channel doesn't really have a lot going for it. Oh, Dune. Also Dune. Dune is coming out next month, and I'm pretty sure they will start to have some more open betas without NDAs. And I want to put that also on the Mola P channel, and then it's packed, right? It's packed. And again, as I said, we don't really have much on the Mola Under Management channel. That's definitely another reason why I'm doing it, because 2 Point Museum was fun, was nice. Didn't unfortunately had the reach nor the interest for a lot of people as much as I enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. Right, I did a review about it and it was fantastic. Then we had Civilization 7, and Civ 7 unfortunately is I couldn't. I couldn't. I The only thing it did was it led me to install Ara History Untold again. uh, that's that's the thing which happened. Then I thought we might check out the farthest, not the furthest, lol, the farthest frontier in 1.0, but they are still pretty far from it. They are at, what is it, version 0.97, and they already said yes, there will be a 98 and a 99 before the release 1.0. And yeah, they take their time. They take their time. So we still have a few months before that is coming out. And yeah, I will be honest, don't really have much. So I've been looking for a game, and InZOI is just fitting perfectly. Mm-hmm. Let's have some quick gaming news. Some quick ones. It's not that much, so but there are a few I want to talk about briefly, and then we are watching the InZOI showcase. Yes. So if you've missed it, last week, Niantic has sold Pokemon Go and Monster Hunter Now and Pikmin Bloom. Yep, Niantic has basically completely sold their mobile area to somebody else, to Scooply, a video game developer and publisher who has also been doing mobile games. And let's just say the community had some mixed feelings about it. But yeah, they sold it because they want to completely focus on geospatial AI. Mm-hmm. Yep, they wanna focus completely on the AI business at Niantic, and they sold Pokemon Go, Pikmin Bloom, and Monster Hunter Now for 3.85 billion US dollars. Yes. Exactly, Boosie. That was like, here's the thing. Unfortunately, Niantic has been screwing the community over and has been making the screws tighter when it came to the monetization. They also added that they can basically harvest all your data for their AI business. So let me just say the Pokemon Go community wasn't really happy about the state of the game for a while now and how Niantic has been handling it. And they said that they felt for a while that they basically don't give a shit. Like, yeah, we have this game in our portfolio because it makes us money and not for anything else. So, like, the community felt like for a while that the developer doesn't really care for the game itself and that things had to change. Now, you were absolutely right. I'm not really familiar with Scooply or Scopely or whatever they do, but it's apparently a US based studio that is part of Saudi Arabia's Savvy Games Group. Um, so yeah, we will see how that turns out in the long term for the community, but I hope it gets better. Like, that's the problem with mobile games, right? They are so predatory. It's really unfortunate. Which is also one of the reasons why I never got really into mobile gaming, because every time I played a mobile game, I was like, whoa, what? Why are you not just asking for my credit card information right here, right now, and my social security number? Like, damn. All right. Oof. Rough. It's like your streamers asking you for your support to make this channel run. If you're new here and you like the content, please don't forget to leave a like. Helps with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And if you want to have an amazing trebuchet to your name with some awesome emotes, don't forget to become a member here on the channel for just $5.99 per month, or you have the super chat option to help me out to do what I'm doing here. Thank you so much for listening to this little ad. Let's continue with the news. Presented by McDonald's. No. Ooh. 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 No, thanks. Ooh. Stop myself there. You're not paying me enough to advertise that shit. Next news. This might be. Most people might not even have noticed that this is a thing and that this happened. So let me get you up to date. Tactical shooter Spectre Divide folds after weeks of release. Yep. And they are saying that Spectre Divide, as time has gone on, we haven't seen enough active players and incoming revenue to cover the day-to-day cost of Spectre and the studio. We expect to take Spectre offline within the next 30 days. We pursued every avenue to keep going, including finding a publisher, additional investment, and/or an acquisition. In the end, we aren't able to make it work. The industry is in a tough spot right now. The news arrives after Spectre Divide saw over $60 million in investment and capital since its initial development in 2020. And if you are like Spectre, whom? Basically Valorant slash Counter-Strike, and the idea was that you have two characters and you can basically jump between the two characters in a round. That was their selling point, and apparently also that Shroud was like an advisor on it and invested a little bit money of it, so they had like the influencer thing attached to it. But it became pretty clear that even Shroud didn't care very quickly. So, and it definitely became a meme in its channel that people are going in there and they're like, "Hey Shroud, Spectre Divide, when are you playing this again? Hey Shroud, I heard your game was like going out of business. How does that feel?" And again, he didn't really had too much to do with it. He was just open that he invested into it because he thought that it would be an interesting investment and he could get some insights on a few shooter parts here and there, but that was it. Like, he made it pretty clear from the beginning that he is not like directly attached to the game. He just wanted to make clear that when he plays it, that people are knowing what the hell they are getting into, right? But it's still interesting that the game was basically going out of business in just a few weeks after the release, which again is not too surprising. Like, no, like, look, we have Fragpunk, we have Valorant, we have Counter Strike, of course, and if your only selling point is, oh, you can play a second character, it's like, okay, cool, right. Like, even in an environment where the industry isn't as cutthroat as it is right now, I know I'm the wrong avenue for this. I don't care for FPS, but it's still like when you were talking to people who are care for FPS, and even they say, "Huh, what am I supposed to do with this?" Then you should be careful. Yeah, just saying. Alrighty. What else? Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows had their reviews, and as always, it's a mixed bag between best Assassin's Creed of all time, the same old, same old. You get the idea. You get the idea. I don't care because Ubisoft. They also basically put system requirements out there, and they made it pretty clear that, hey, folks, ray tracing is mandatory. So make sure that you have at least a GPU which can somewhat do the ray race, which is kind of interesting because the minimum GPU is at 1070. And I'm like, huh? How can the minimum GPU be at 1070 when a 1070 cannot do ray tracing? That is an interesting twist. But here are the requirements. They're actually not too bad. They're actually quite reasonable. Not like InZOI. Sorry. The SSD is mandatory nowadays, but you can see it here, selective ray tracing. I love that there are more games now going with the selective ray tracing. What was the Dragon Age? The Veilguard did it, and they did it really well. They did it really well and enjoyed that. So the minimum is 1080p and 30 FPS and low settings. You need an Intel Core i7 8700K low or Ryzen 5 3600. Odd comparison, but okay. GeForce GTX 1070 with 8GB. Again, that doesn't really make sense with ray tracing because the 10s can't do well, they can do ray tracing, but prepare for 2 FPS. Or Radeon RX 5700 or an Intel Arc 580 with rebound. I love that they are telling people that. I love that they are telling people that. That's actually a pretty good one. Recommended is 1080p at 60 FPS, medium settings, an Intel Core i5, 11K, 11600K, or 5600X, GeForce 3060 Ti, or Radeon RX 7700 XT. And then we have the enthusiast area, which is 4040p at 60 FPS, high settings. CPU-wise, nothing has changed, but you now need a 3080 with 10 GB. So mine still should be a little bit better. And or Radeon RX 6800 XT. And then if we want to go 4K at 60 FPS, then we have standard ray tracing. If we want to go 1440p at 60 FPS, high settings, you need an Intel Core you can see here nothing changes really with the CPUs, or you need a GeForce RTX 4070 Super or Radeon RX 7800 XT. Again, interesting comparison, but here we go. And then you have extended ray tracing, which is the enthusiasts and extreme, whatever that means. And there you go. Like, basically get a 490. At least they're honest. At least they're honest. You know, I give them that. Like, if there is one thing about Ubisoft, when it comes to their system requirements and when it comes to their accessibility features, that is the one thing I cannot blame Ubisoft for. I cannot. It's one of the things where I have to say they are doing the right thing. Everything else, though, you know, alrighty. But with that said, give me just 1 second here. Right. All right. Let's watch the showcase, shall we? Is the showcase available in something else than 1080p? No. Do they have it maybe in 4K on the webs on the thingy? No, they don't. That is unfortunate. Okay. And let me get over here. Does somebody sing Suffocating? Okay, that's the early access teaser they showed us. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's only available in 1080p. Bitrate is like his yeah. Yeah. But hey, what can you do? Alright. Hit it. Really like the music. There's a dude.
Hello, my name is Hyungjun Kim, or K-jun, the director and producer of InZOI. The Korean greeting 안녕하세요 literally means "Are you well?" A lot of you are watching this showcase. I hope you send me a round of applause to cheer me as I try to go through this presentation. First, thank you for celebrating InZOI's early access launch with us. We'd appreciate your support
Well,
as we
it's
take
in
our
a
difficult
Wii.
first steps. The video you saw gave you a peek into the set on stage. This set looks just like this place looks in
Why
game.
does he hold up a book with Stoicism?
It's the AR library from InZOI, and it's a space where a Zoi is sent when they pass away.
What? What?
InZOI is a life simulation game that captures life itself, the journey from birth through various experiences to death. Since this genre is an
Damn,
unfamiliar
that
one
took
in
a sharp
Korea,
turn
I've
here.
often been asked questions like, is this even a game, or how do you even play it? Finding developers, conducting playtests, and evaluating the game have all been challenging. But the reason we created this game is simple. We're
He's
developers,
pretending like The Sims
but
doesn't exist.
like you, we're also gamers. And I wanted to create a game in a genre I personally love. I believe this genre holds meaningful and empowering value, and I
Fair.
wanted more people to experience it. During difficult moments in my life, I played The Sims, and I was reminded
Oh,
of
he's
Charlie
acknowledging
Chaplin's
it.
quote, "Life is a tragedy when seen up close."
Sorry that I interrupt here very quickly because I don't want to talk over this too often, but I think this is a really good way of doing it. I see too many publishers, too many developers going the route of competition. We don't have competition. What? No, no, there's nothing there. What are you talking about? Our game is based on another game? No, what? Hate that. Hate that. Like, come on, man. That's what the gaming industry has been doing for decades. Somebody made a game, somebody else took it, improved on it, changed a few things, and can connect with it. I mean, this is why a lot of people are actually watching this, why a lot of people are looking for this presentation, because we have all played The Sims, or most of us have. We have a connection to The Sims, and we are looking for something else, something additional, something different. So when the director is coming forth and is saying, hey, I have a connection to The Sims, and here's why, I think that resonates with a lot of the people who are watching this.
But a comedy when viewed from a distance. I realized that living through and observing different lives can be deeply comforting. That's why this InZOI poster that you see on screen
What's
was designed
InZOI?
to give the feeling of looking down at the game world from a distance. Over
I
time,
am
I built.
God.
And as I got older, I also enjoyed the genre with my son. One day, he asked me, "Are there other games in this genre with the latest graphics?" Without hesitation, I took on the challenge of creating one myself.
Right.
InZOI, AR company, manages virtual simulation worlds known as InZOI. The people living in this world are known as Zois.
It's kind of
As
weird
a
that
new
they are
recruit
doing
of
it
AR
this
company,
way.
their role is to observe and shape the lives of Zois. You become a creator.
Like,
By playing InZOI, you are stepping into the role of a life creator. That's why today's showcase is themed as a recruitment day for newer creators.
I assume this is how they are
Early access means that you are joining AR Company as a new
jumping
employee,
like above the whole
becoming a
thing
fellow
of
creator, helping to build the world of
your own
InZOI
god.
alongside me. If I successfully complete this presentation and many of you apply to join this journey, then this presentation will have been a success. All right, then. If you want to apply as a new employee, you'll need to know about InZOI and AR Company, right? First, I'll
Hey,
introduce
meet
the
the
team
team.
behind InZOI and AR Company,
Always love
and then
that.
I'll give you an overview of InZOI itself.
I would always love to see the people who worked on those games, right? There's so many.
These people you see on screen are the brave colleagues who took on this bold
I
challenge.
love that they showed the women with a stress ball.
Thanks to their dedication, I
And
was
it's
able to
like,
bring the game
yeah,
together.
I have heard about the working times and working conditions in South Korea, so I
And
will
even
probably
at
have a
this
stress
very
ball
moment,
myself.
they continue to give their best. Next, let me introduce the creators behind the real movements, voices, and the music of InZOI.
배우 최미령입니다.
배우 정용현입니다.
My name is Heather Moore.
오디오 관련 총괄 이혜진입니다. 오늘
It's very quiet.
인게임 들어가시기 전에 로비에서 들어보실 수 있는 음악이고요.
뭐가 특별한 모션보다는
I cannot crank it up more. I'm already at max volume.
실생활의 자연스러운 움직임과 게임적 고용의 게임 같은 느낌의 중간점을
I know there are subtitles down there, but it's still unfortunate.
It's very funny to do things that maybe are private. Going to the restroom. You can die of embarrassment, of hunger. Fun experience that you can live in, play, and share with others. 파이팅 하십시오.
감사합니다.
Since this genre involves role playing, I'll continue with this recruitment theme for this
Okay.
presentation. Before you decide to join us, it's only fair that I introduce you.
Yeah, those are
InZOI,
basically
right?
the three pillars,
So
I
let's
would
go
say, in
through
the life simulation we
each
just see
one.
here. So they are very important. Cities are beautiful.
InZOI strives to create not only realistic graphics, but also a realistic simulation. In spring, flowers bloom. In autumn, the leaves turn red. In winter, they fall and snow begins to cover the ground. We have
Nice.
developed seasonal changes and interactions. So when it snows,
Hey,
players
we
can
don't need
decorate
the
for
season
winter and throw
DLC
festive
for it to make
parties.
it happen. Woo!
Characters must wear weather-appropriate clothing.
Yeah,
If
what?
it's too hot or too cold, they can catch a cold or fall ill and die.
It's a show fighting.
Changes in weather also affect the emotions of Zois, leading to new and unexpected events.
Oh.
InZOI
Whoa.
allows players to change background as they see fit. And to interact with crowds in various ways, such as talking, helping, or complimenting them. You could also fight with people in the crowd as well. You can even beg for money.
Oh my.
You can get rocks and paintings that you've collected or crafted and sell them on the street. Or if you have any furniture that are used, you can sell them as secondhand goods. The city
Okay.
is filled with fun spaces and experiences.
I love the overview. I hope this is somehow in the game.
What I'm showing now is built within InZOI. In the past, content creation was limited to companies or professionals with specialized equipment. But today, anyone can easily create content, leading to a surge in diverse and exciting content. Similarly, in the world of InZOI, we wanted to embed creative tools that allow everyone to create with ease. You
I don't
can
know what the
generate
AI
3D
tools
objects
mean, and
from
I'm skeptical
single
about
images,
that.
and also use them as furniture or decorative items. You could even make them earrings and attach them to your earlobe.
Weird.
Try replacing interactive objects or existing furniture in the game with the 3D objects you've created using the 3D printer.
Okay,
Here
that's
you
good.
see my character replacing
That's
a punching
good.
bag.
So why do you have
You could
like
also take a single image to create
sandbags
poses.
and all that of your
When you play
moderators
InZOI, if
all
you
over your
have a
house and
pose that you
punch
want
them
to add,
repeatedly?
You could just input your photo.
Or no specific reason.
If you have any videos of yourself dancing, then you can put those in InZOI to make the Zois dance like you are in the video.
Copyright.
The facial capture that we introduced previously is now joined with camera motion capture, which is in development. It's been included as an experimental feature in this build. It's
Oh
still a
yeah,
work
this
in
is the
progress,
new
but if you can be patient
NVIDIA
with us,
stuff,
we'll
right?
continue to challenge ourselves and improve the features.
Right. Like they're using a lot of
I'm
experimental
actually more of
NVIDIA
an introvert,
AI
so I'm not
stuff
the most
in the
socially
game.
active person. But I believe that relationships are one of the most important aspects of life. In InZOI,
Yeah, the video
you
is
make a
speeded
Zoe
up. I don't
and
like that.
select traits that determines your chemistry with others. This means that romance and friendships will naturally develop with compatible people, while relationships with incompatible ones might be more challenging. Family relationships in particular are incredibly important. Just like in real life, raising a baby is tough,
Why
and the
is
bond
the
between
kid
parents and children
green?
will influence a
Oh,
child's
because the
relationships
parents are
as they
green.
grow.
Blue.
By the
Okay.
way, if any of you have a baby or a child, remember that they grow up incredibly fast. You'll miss these days, so cherish them. That said, in InZOI, you don't have to take life too seriously.
I think that's important.
It's
Yeah.
okay to yell or get angry in the game.
I think that like this is something a lot of like live sims never understand who tried to come to the market or did come to the market and then disappeared is they try to be the more serious endeavor than the Sims. And one of the main reasons why The Sims is still highly regarded and beloved by a lot of people is it is a live sim. But not really. There are too many things which are just hilarious fantasy. Like we have literally magic in The Sims. We have literally like some monsters and whatnot. Like there is a lot of stuff in The Sims which is not grounded in reality at all. So when I see sometimes games coming in this genre and try to make a splash, and believe me, they're not a lot, they're always trying to be on a more serious note. And I think the hilarity is what sells The Sims as well. Like, of course, it is horrible when your Sims is dying in a burning axis, or you remove the ladders from the pool in The Sims 1 to make them drown. By the way, that doesn't work anymore in The Sims 4 because they can just get out of the pool every time because they're not dumb. But you get the idea, right? You can do some horrible but also hilarious things to your Sims, and that's fine. Games where you can't do that because they want to be more realistic, I don't think, or I do think, will have a much, much harder time to reach an audience because TLDR, if I want to have an actual recreation of life, well, I'm living it. Right?
Go out into the streets, gather a crowd, show off your outfit, play an instrument. Or you could sing at the top of your lungs.
Or punch people a lot in the
Just like
face,
in real
apparently.
life, someone might send you a message on social media criticizing or praising your style.
Need that. I won't need that as a content creator.
Dare to live boldly and explore diverse
Yeah, I don't
experiences.
like that
The more
they
you
have
challenge
speed at
yourself, the
the
richer your
videos.
story will become. After all, your role is to be a creator of life, which
That's
means
a
you're doing
stripper.
just fine. Recently, InZOI has been receiving positive recognition from the public, which has been incredibly helpful in convincing the company, recruiting developers, and pushing the game forward. However, the overwhelming expectations from the public personally became too much pressure, leading us to postpone the early access release once. But even with that delay, it still wasn't enough time to fully refine the game. Now we want to release the game early to our core fans, gather their feedback, and ensure that we shape InZOI into a game they truly love.
Sorry for the interruption again. This is what I said in my recent video I released yesterday on InZOI. I see a lot of hype for this game, especially coming from the Sims community, and I see people literally saying, "Oh my god, this is the Sim competitor. This will dethrone The Sims. It's the end." I'm like, no, no, it isn't. The Sims is out for 10 years. The Sims has so many expansions. And keep in mind, the base game of The Sims 4 is free to play now. Right? The only thing you are paying for, the only thing, lol, is the expansions. But the point is, even if you're just going with the base game of The Sims, you have a lot. Over the 10 years, they have added a lot, changed and fixed so much. Are there still shortcomings? Are there still issues in The Sims 4? Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. This is why a lot of people are looking forward to Project Renee and basically the next Sim iteration. But the reality is, when this game is coming out, it will be its own thing, and it should be. But it will have a lot of shortcomings. It will have a lot of stuff missing. It will not be The Sims. And that's okay. But people have to remember that. Because you are just setting yourself up for, well, not being happy with what you will get. Even though it's okay. Even though it's good.
That's why we're moving forward with our original plan, launching early access and refining the game together through direct communication with our players.
Okay.
The InZOI team will continue working hard to improve each aspect of the game step by step. We'll never
Any Brits here? Are there any Brits here? British folks? Hello? I love this so much when I see this. English, United States. Well, apparently English is not British anymore. Sorry, folks. Sorry. You got dethroned.
never give up and we'll keep developing ambitious.
Interesting that they are not done with English.
It's a bit sad that we still can't take family photos. And since the development team is continuously working on new features, the
Driving
localization
features.
team is
So
having a
driving
hard
doesn't
time.
exist at all in early
As a
access?
result, the localization quality of the currently supported languages is still far from complete. But we'll do our best to complete the game, and we have a percentage of how complete the game is to the side for the early access build. The cars and motion capture features still also have a long way to go, but we'll continue to work on them.
Okay.
But no one gets everything right from the start,
AI
right?
build features. Oh, the game is
Next
building
city
for
is
you.
already in development, and we're continuously improving and adding more
Skyscrapers.
careers
Oh,
to the
that's
game.
awesome.
We're also researching AI-driven automatic building And
Interesting. It's not ray tracing they are using in the mirrors. In New City.
are working on optimizing tall structures. You can build tall structures in the early access build, but that lags the game. We've working on making it possible for you to build 30-story buildings.
Wow.
We'll continue to communicate with you, make improvements to
Yeah, this is one of the things I can already see some people who say like, yeah, but The Sims has that. Well, as I said, keep in mind, not The Sims. Second, The Sims doesn't really have skyscrapers. They have multiple floors with basically loading screens, ignoring all the other loading screens when you are not like swapping between them or you are not on them. And they are not really trying to go for real skyscrapers. Like even most of the big skyscrapers buildings have like what? 3, 4 floors, maybe 5 in them. It's much easier to do. But the illusion works. So
together so that InZOI will be remembered as a truly
I
creative
like the
simulation
AI
game.
building feature. This is great for people who don't really like the
But
building in
making
those
an
type
informed
of
decision is
games.
important. So we've taken the time to prepare another demo for you.
I want to check this out. And I will probably check this out tomorrow. Yep. If I get a key. I will do my best to grab a key immediately. Unfortunately, I tried to reach out to Krafton, but... Too late. A little too late. And that's on me. Yeah, it's coming on the 23rd.
You've seen in the video, the focus area for this demo is the character customization and build mode. So please take the time to fully experience it and enjoy InZOI. I hope you like it, and let's build InZOI together.
Is this a different...
So the creative studio
What?
we have this time includes a lot
This
of
is a different
features.
person.
We have
Why did they
added
swap out the person?
watches, rings, and bracelets, and you can make them as you wish.
Cool.
And the outfit customization has also been further improved.
Good.
You will be able to create
That was definitely
more
one of the
variety
big
outfits.
so-sos in the first demo they gave. A lot of people were not happy with that.
Now, in this build, all the build mode features are available.
Whoa. Yo.
We have foundations, we have fences, gates, and walls.
Yeah, I would definitely check this out. God. I hope the building is smooth and easy. I really hope. Like, The Sims got better over the years, but it's still
And
sometimes a
fences
bit...
can be colored as you wish, and you can also
Iffy.
customize them as you wish. And the stairs and ladders have been enhanced. And in this build, you can utilize the AI features I mentioned earlier. So you
Oh.
can discover creative ways to combine the AI
I wonder
features
how good the
with
AI
the
feature
existing
really
features.
is.
You'll be able to
We will
create
find that out.
a lot of unique and exciting works. Share your creations on Canvas and enjoy them with other players.
I love that you can also download the stuff other people do. Such a huge feature in The Sims. Like, don't get me wrong, I am decent in building homes in The Sims.
Now,
But the
let's move
reality
on to an-
is, like, I'm looking at my stuff and I go, yep. did pretty well. And then I'm looking at the community created things and I'm like, oh, mine looks like shit. Yeah, this is the early access
that our
stuff.
business team wanted me to share. So
Business team, nice.
you can get a glimpse of InZOI through content creator streams and videos.
Yes.
There's a random challenge campaign that will start tomorrow. So watch streams and videos on InZOI, and you can get the early access keys. And please check it out.
Oh, the price. I say $40.
As I mentioned earlier, InZOI is not yet a finished product. There is still a lot of room for improvement. I think the more players participate, the better the game will
30
become.
would be best.
With this in mind, we have internally decided to offer early access at the most reasonable price possible. So this is the price we came up with.
40. Yep. I know they're calling it players over profit. This is a price tag which I anticipated for the game because it will be a $60 or even $70 game. This is not really too unsurprising, to be completely honest here. 30 would have been best, in my opinion, if they really wanted to do players over profit. But 40 makes sense. This is what I said before. Not really too surprising to me. Yeah.
But as a developer, I think InZOI still has a lot to
That's okay.
improve on. So this is what we're going to do. Until there's the full launch, all updates and DLCs will be provided for free. And that's the decision we at InZOI Studio came up with Crafton.
So this is also like, it would have been actually an outrage if they wouldn't have done that. Like, you cannot really in early access start to sell DLC if you are not Ark Survival Evolved, of course. So, like, yeah, this makes sense. There's still tons of stuff missing, and if they would have started to sell people, let's say, the car feature as a DLC while they are still in early access, then this whole thing of like, oh yeah, we sold you the game for $40, you know, players over profit. By the way, here are 3 updates which are cost $10 each. Thank you for paying. Right? Like, can't do that. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind paid DLC. I don't mind to when the game is feature complete and new things will be developed to pay for it. Like, look, this is coming from a guy who probably bought so many Sims expansions that I financed a new private jet for one of the EA executives. All right? So, I don't mind DLC if it is appropriate to what we got, what we have. So, this makes sense. This is not too... Whoa!
For this promise to mean anything, the development team has to continue consistently.
I'm looking forward to an actual
committed
consistent
to,
roadmap.
continuing
What's
the
in early
development
access?
and committing to this roadmap.
Well, here we go. Fantastic. Look at this.
Here's our roadmap.
Oh, wow. Maya and
To
Blender.
highlight the major
Whoa.
updates in May, we
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You know what that means. Well, this will probably give a huge boost to online prawn. Lots of it. Like if you wanna know whenever there was a game which boosted like the online 3D prawn stuff out there, the answer is Skyrim Bioshock Infinite. And if you're asking why Bioshock Infinite, don't. And The Sims. Oh, and Overwatch. I forgot Overwatch. Sorry, my bad. Forgot Overwatch. How could I forget like one of the most influential ones of all of them? So this game is easy to like take stuff out and moving stuff around and all that. Oh boy. Yep. Yep. So what do we have? Mod kits, changes to weight and muscle adjustment. Oh, interesting. In-game cheat codes. Oh. Oh. Okay, so no cheat codes at the beginning, but they will give us the cheat codes in May. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. You won't believe how many, like, people are saying, like, why is this important? You have never played The Sims. If you are asking these questions, why do you need in-game cheat codes? You have never played The Sims. The amount of people who use in-game cheat codes or have used in-game cheat codes at least at once is staggering. Shit, I have done it multiple times. If I want to test something, if I want to do something very specific, yes. And also, give me a second here. Just a second. Just a bit here. I have to take something. Alrighty. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, I had to take some medicine. I don't really want to do that in front of the cam for various reasons. So yeah, again, in-game cheat codes totally makes sense. Relationship improvements, don't know what that means because I don't know the context of it. Adoption system, that's cool, nice. Build mode improvements and new furniture, good. Create a ZOI improvements, okay, probably more closes and all that. And outfit updates, nice.
We will introduce some modding features.
They will probably use the first month to
We
fix
have
the
Maya
game.
and Blender plugins ready.
That is huge for the modding community because that basically gives them
Will
like
be
for some people, like I mentioned the prawn right earlier with The Sims. If you are modding in The Sims, and I mean you are actually using mods in The Sims, there are quite a bit of mods which are definitely not safe for work, right? And why a lot of people are still using them, even though they have no interest in the adult side of things, is because modders have done so much work with animations, like just movement animations, like climbing animations. I know this is like, what? So some of the climbing animations you get through those not safe for work mods, like that you can climb on the table and dance on the table or something like that. Like, I don't think I have to explain why not safe for work mods have climbing animations and all that. But it helps you in so many other ways that you, again, even though you're not interested in the adult Sims mods, there are some really good ones I still recommend because they're adding so much animation to the game. To give modders direct access to Maya and Blender, that's a huge deal. If this game takes off, That's a huge deal.
Provided, and your body shapes will also change if you work out in gyms. And I don't know if you knew this, but August 8th is the International Cat Day. We plan to
That's
add
how
a
you
cat
work out,
in
right?
Island City on that
Right.
day. But you're not gonna have any cat plays available. Um, and this update will also introduce swimming pools and basements, and you will also have ghost gameplays and AI build mode feature will also be available.
Oh,
Then.
this is in August.
And
Swimming
every 3
pools and
months,
ghost
we
play.
plan to
What is
release new
ghost play?
outfits and furniture and
Okay, what? I don't understand what ghost play is. Does that mean like fake multiplayer? Oh, the AI build mode is in the demo, but it's not coming till August. More resources for editing the cities. Yes, makes sense. Swimming in pools. Unfortunate that it isn't available right from the beginning, but hey, it's still faster available than The Sims. Just saying. It seems like The Sims were not lying to us back in the day when they said creating basements and swimming pools is actually a really hard thing to do, because 10 years later, InZOI is not starting with it. I'm joking, by the way. Freelancer jobs. Hey, that's me. Wait. Before you were Family Tree is coming in update 3. Hotkey customization. Okay, that's important, I think. Build mode. Adjust object size. Oh, it's coming in October. That's unfortunate. New furniture. Moving homes UX improvement. Okay. Creators or improvements. Mod updates. Okay. Family Tree is coming with October update. I have to say, those are all very nice additions of the Cat Island. Okay, cool. Those are all nice additions. Nothing substantial here, depending on how much the base stuff works. Oh, this is in December.
this is not
Oh.
finalized though. We will continue to communicate with you, actively listening to your requests and incorporating your feedback.
Wait. No.
Communicate with you.
Get invited to hit. I can't read that. It's a DLC thing. Whatever that is. I'm pretty sure some people will decipher it. So update 4 is memory system. What? That you can do multiple things at once? I don't know what that means. Move cities. Oh, okay. That's neat. Oh, move city. Not moving the city, but you move cities. Right. Yeah, I think that's important. Okay, that's coming in December. Interaction response based on traits. Oh, that is important. That is coming in December. Huh. Okay. Build mode improvements and new furniture. Cool. Great InZOI improvements, mod updates, new outfits. Indoor temperature. That's interesting. Cool.
Actively listening to your requests and incorporating your feedback.
오늘 설명이 어떠셨나요?
So, did you
정말
enjoy
마음에
my
드셨으면
presentation?
좋겠습니다. 이 작품의 소개가 마음에 드신다면 28일에는 정말
Yeah, was alright.
If you like the presentation,
꼭
be
AR
sure to
컴퍼니에
join
합류해 주셨으면
AR
좋겠습니다.
Company on the 28th.
자, 그럼 실시간으로 정말 많은
Okay,
분들이
so
와주신데요.
we have a lot of people
정말
joining
지금부터는
us
여러분들이 질문에
in the
대답하는 시간을
chat.
갖도록 하겠습니다.
let's
저의
have our
질문과
live
답변을
Q&A
도와줄
session.
I
We
hope
have
it's
some
not like the
specialists
Blizzard
here
live
alongside
Q&A
me.
section.
We have Joel here.
발표하시느라 너무 고생 많으셨습니다,
Hello.
피디님.
Thank you
이제
so much for
저희가
the
이제
great
Q&A를
presentation,
정식적으로 이제
K-Jun.
시작하려고
Printed pages? Ma'am, I will say I'm a little bit... There's a lot of AI shit here. And it's the same thing with like some of the pictures they're using for their big like the one I'm using right now, right? The thumbnail. It looks like the AI slop we got, and I'm somebody who is very much against AI and all that. So, yeah. I hope an artist has actually done that and an artist was paid. And they didn't just go to an AI and said, print me something stupid.
하는데요.
So we want to start the
지금
Q&A
현재
session.
채팅을 통해서 많은 분들께서 이제 좀 참여를 해주시고
Chances
have
are low.
a lot
채팅의 고정
of people
댓글을
leaving
보시면 이제 그
comments in the
질문들을 이제
chat.
수집하는 저희가 링크를 드렸어요. 그래서
There's a
그거를
link
꼭 들어가셔가지고
where you
이제
can leave
피디님께
your
물어보실
comments
Why
and
is
questions.
this-
주시면 저희가 또 취합해서
Use that
또
link
이제 여쭤보도록
and
하겠습니다.
we
그래서
What?
will
취합하는
list up
시간에
all the
조금 시간이
questions,
필요하기 때문에 저희가 그 사전에
and
준비한
this
So-
will take some time for our team. So we have some questions from the influencers that we gathered before this event.
Not
So
me.
let's take a look at those questions. We have videos
Not
prepared,
me.
and we have some videos that are not in Korean.
It's not
I will
important.
translate them after the videos are played. So let's take a look at the video first.
Hello everyone, my name is
Maddie,
Maddie,
or
I am a
Cotton
cozy life sim gamer here
Sock.
from the USA.
I'm a cozy life
You may
sim
have seen me
gamer here
before,
in
as
the
I was
USA.
fortunate
Why do we... Huh? Why is this translated in English?
enough to play
You may have
InZOI in
seen
the
me before
previous
because I was
playtests,
fortunate
but
enough to
one
play
aspect
InZOI
of
in the
InZOI that
previous
I found
playtest.
surprisingly
But
time-consuming
one
while
aspect of
playing
InZOI that I
was
found
sleeping.
surprisingly
Because
time-consuming
1 in-game day
while
is
playing was
equivalent to
sleeping.
96
What is
Because
this?
real-life
one
minutes,
in-game
a
day
large
is
portion
equivalent
of
to
gameplay
96
time is
real
going
life
to be
minutes.
towards
A large
sleeping,
portion of
which
game
isn't very
playtime is going
interactive.
to
It's
be
just the
towards
player
sleeping,
staring
which
at their
isn't
Zoe
very
while they
interactive.
sleep. And I
It's just
understand
the
that the world
player
of InZOI
staring
does
at their
continue
Zoe
to
while
simulate
they
I would have
sleep.
loved to
I
hear
understand
what
that
the
the world
Cotton
of
Sock
InZOI
has to
does
say
continue to
herself
simulate beyond
instead of the
immediate family,
translator.
which
There are
does
any
introduce
plans to
some
introduce
complexity to
a
this situation. But my
flag
question
feature
to
or a
K-Jun
way
would
Oh,
be,
that's so
are there any
awkward.
plans to
time
introduce a
during
fade to black
sleeping?
feature or a way to
Hilarious.
speed up the
Might not foresee
game
this
time
as a
during
gameplay
sleeping?
annoyance
I think that
until they
fans might
experience
not
it
foresee
firsthand.
this as a gameplay
Thanks, K-Jun.
annoyance until they experience it firsthand.
첫
Thanks,
질문은
K-Jun.
커튼삭
Okay, so we have the first question from A Cotton Sock.
참여해 주셨으니까 벌써 이제
She
7개월 전
participated in
얘기를
the
가지고
last
말씀하셨는데 그때는
playtest. It
저희가
was
이제
7 months ago.
보통
Back
플레이
then,
시간이 하루를 이제 1배속으로
the
플레이할
play
경우에는
time
이제
was at
96분의 현실 시간이 걸리기 때문에 그 중에서 이제 3분의
X1
1을
speed,
이제 자는 시간으로만 한다고
and
하면 대략 30분 정도 걸리잖아요.
she had to
이제
spend
그게 너무 좀
1/3
오래
of
걸린다라고
the
했는데 물론 그
in-game
당시에는
day
5배속이나
for sleeping.
10배속도 제공하려고
Hey,
했지만
that's
그게
like real life.
부족하다고
And we
느끼셨대요.
wanted
근데 혹시
to
이제 7개월의
provide
기간이 지났다 보니까
5X
좀
and
더 그게
other
대해서 발전된
speeds.
부분이 있으셨는지도
So,
궁금합니다.
were there any
질문
updates?
주신 내용이 너무나 이게 잘 알고 계셔서
Okay, I am
정확한
very
질문이시고요.
aware
사실
of
인조이는
this
집 외부에도
issue.
전부 시뮬레이션 하다 보니까
We are
시뮬레이션
I would have loved to see like having like subtitles underneath it. That would have been really nice. I would have loved to see some
Playing
subtitles here.
the
문제가 됩니다.
outer
그래서
world,
제가
not
할수 있는
just
거는
the household,
속도를
as you
빨리 할
know.
수밖에 없는데
So,
사실 시뮬레이션 게임을 속도를 빨리 한다니 굉장히
if
위험한
you
겁니다. 그래서
speed up the
굉장히
simulation,
컴퓨팅
it's
파워도
going to
많이
be a
먹고
big
이래서
problem.
그래서 저희가 할 수 있는 선택은
So, what
시뮬레이션을
we
최적화하고
do
속도를
is
빨리 하는 것을
optimize simulation.
개발했습니다. 그래서
Wait, you cannot speed
if you go to
up?
options,
게임의 플레이 속도를 세 가지로
there are 3
조정해서
game speeds that
Oh,
you
no.
can
그리고
utilize.
가장 중요한
Okay,
거는
And
you
the
can.
most important thing is
저희가
I was like, wait.
플레이가 되도록
In the videos they
can
showed game
actually enable
speeds.
얼리 액세스 빌드를 받으시면 아마 잠자는
speed
동안에
that speeds
30대
up
속으로
the
플레이가
sleeping
됩니다.
time
물론 이제
30 times.
헷갈리실 수 있다
Mm.
보니까
I think that might be confusing to our players.
Not really. It's the same thing they're doing in The Sims. Right, you have like 3 speed times basically when everyone is awake, and then there's the super speed, let's call it that, when the whole household is at sleep. Right. So it seems like they're doing the same thing here, and that's the right thing to do it because it works.
You're not just controlling your Zoe, but you can also control the family members.
아, 그렇진
So
않습니다.
will this
모든
go
가족이 자야
take
되고요.
effect
빨리
as soon as
넘기시고
your
싶으면 가족을
Zoe
빨리
sleeps?
태워줘야 돼요.
No, your
강제로
Yeah, the whole
entire family has
household.
to be asleep in order for this
Yes.
to take effect.
Yes, like The Sims.
네, 맞습니다.
It's exactly like The Sims.
그러면 다음 질문 넘어가도록
So let's
하겠는데요.
move on to the
다음은
next
이제
question.
김세일님께서,
We have a
준비해
question
주셨다니까
from Rail Kim.
영상을 보시고 바로 답변해
Let's
주시면
watch
될 것
that
같습니다.
video.
안녕하세요. 한국에서 인생
Hello, I'm
시뮬레이션
Rail
게임
Kim.
유튜브
I'm a
중에
live simulation
김세일입니다.
YouTube creator
현재
from
맵에서
Korea.
이용할 수 있는 상점이
Since
두
there
개쯤
Whoa. That room. Ma'am. I don't know where she recorded this, but that is sterile. I could make a joke now about people with white jackets standing off camera just waiting for her to finish with the background.
네.
But
are
damn.
currently a set number of shops available on the map. Is there any chance that users will be able
Also,
to add
your
or place their own
mic
shops
pop
in the
is getting
future? If
pierced
so,
there.
I'm
Just
curious how this
saying.
feature could be implemented. Okay.
Okay.
That's a surprising question because I'm the least confident about careers in this build. I wasn't able to.
But then there's the
touch,
guy who doesn't even have a
shops at all.
pop filter on his microphone, so I'm the one to talk here.
There are stalls. You click on it, and if there are any rocks or fish that you have, you can put it on the stall, and it can enable sell feature, and Zoe's in the crowd can buy those items.
I love the
And
idea of stalls. Of like, this is something I think The Sims has been they kind of did something like that, but never fully what people demanded in The Sims, where you can just put up your stall and then you can just sell all the things you have basically created at home, like your food, your cooking, your baking, like items you have crafted. Like, you can sell those things, keep that in mind, but it's mostly like not a real interaction or transaction, or they are like certain festivities where you can do it, but it never felt like you could just do it because you wanted to.
get the feeling of selling something at a shop. So you can
And then of
utilize
course
that
there
feature.
is when you are opening up your own
We may
your
be able
own
to
shop
add
and all that.
shops
That
in
is
the
like
near future. Okay,
different.
that's great that
그러면
you have
다음 질문
plans for it.
넘어가면
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
준비해 주셨는데
That's not what they
New World
described here.
asking the next question. So let's hear that, and I'll summarize the question for you.
Hello, I'm New World, a simulation game creator from the United States, and here is my question. Will there be any implementation of graphical upgrades in the future? Features like DLSS4 or the new Unreal Engine 5 lighting mechanics that look to improve performance while also having really good looking environments?
네, 지난 플레이 테스트에 참여해 주신
Okay,
뉴월드님이셨는데
so New World,
그 당시에도
he
좀
participated in
좀
the
다르겠는데
last
좀
playtest
그래픽
as well.
카드나 이런 부분에서 되게 자부심이 있으셔가지고 그 저희
You
그래픽
were
세팅에서도 항상
really
모든 옵션을 다 키고 되게 예쁜
confident
이제
about
시각화를
the
만드시려고 되게
graphical
노력하시는 분이고
elements.
또 질문도 또 그렇게
And
어울리시는 것 같네요.
I
이제
think he's asking
그래픽적으로 어떤
questions
개선
about
사항이
that as
계획되어
well.
있으신지
So what do
모르시는데
you
이제
what are
예시로
your
몇 가지
plans
주신
for
게 이제
this?
DLS 중에서 DLS4를
He
혹시 이제
mentioned
나중에 추가할 계획이 있으신지
DLS4
그리고 뭐 언리얼
if you
5에
have plans to
쓰시고
add
있다
that,
보니까
and you're
거기에 다양한
using
이제 라이팅
Unreal Engine
기술들도
5, and
계획하시고
there are
있으신지
Keep in mind that they have some deal going on with Nvidia, so I hope they're also adding FSR, the new one. Of course, They will not mention that here. But I'm hoping that they will actually add that to the game and not just
lighting
offering
features there.
DLSS.
정확한 질문이신데요.
That's a great question, New World.
아직 4를 현재 연구 단계에
Yeah,
있습니다.
that's a
We
great
are using
question for our sponsor,
DLSS
NVIDIA.
3 at the moment, and we're
대신에
researching
이제 그래픽적으로
DLSS
아쉬움이 있었던
4.
부분이 있었습니다.
And
게임 안에서 저희가
I had
여기 환경처럼 이렇게 조명을
an
키면
element that was
그림자가
lacking.
생기잖아요. 네.
There are
그림자가
shadows here.
생기면 훨씬 더 그림이 아름답습니다. 그래서 이걸
If you have
해보시면 이제
shadows and
커스터마이즈
shades,
화면과
it
게임
makes
안의
the
화면이
scene more
조금 다를 수
beautiful.
있는데 왜냐면 저희는 최적화를 하고
Yes.
있어서
We're doing
게임 안에는
optimization,
그림자를 많이 꺼놨습니다.
so we've
그래서
turned
실내에
off a lot
들어갔을
of
때
shadows
그림자가 없는 게 좀 부족하실 수 있는데
indoors.
하지만 이번에도 또 마침
So it might
그림자가 있는
not look
라이트를 5개
that great,
넣었습니다. 그래서
but
한번 유월드님께서
we
한번
have
그런 라이트를
5
이용해서
areas
멋진
where
화면을 만들어
we have
주시면 정말
turned
좋을 것
on the
같습니다.
네,
shadows.
좋습니다. 지난번보다
So
그래도
if
좀
you could find
시각적으로
those
이런
areas,
그렇죠.
New
네.
World,
상상된
that would be
느낌이
great.
나겠네요. 아, 네. 그럼 다음 질문은
Okay,
이제
let's
또
move on to the
Is it just me? Or did anyone had an aneurysm right now following that answer? So to explain to people why I'm confused here, we talked about DLSS, which has nothing to do with shadows and all of that. It's an upscaler. And it is a simple question. Do you use DLS4? Yes, no. Will you offer any other upscaler? Yes, no, or you mentioned the brand. What he did, or maybe the translator is just doesn't know what he's talking about and tried to make sense of it. He talked about shadows and that they turned off shadows in the game, which is if they used lumen / ray tracing. That is a completely different thing because that's lighting. DLSS has nothing to do with that. That's like talking about your new car, but you are sitting in a seminar about airplanes. I say, yeah, technically it's both a way of transporting people, but in the end, you cannot really compare those two with each other, so what gives? Like, what?
The next question, we have a Korean streamer asking the next question. Baby Hapum has the next question. Please watch the video.
Yeah, let's watch the video and hope. Oh.
Hello, I'm a simulation game YouTuber called Baby Hapum. My question is about how Zoes die.
First of all, weird question. Second of all, I know they want to show off this feature they are offering in the game. Yeah, it is experimental. That is some soulless stuff. Like, there is a reason why 3D and PNG tubers, aka VTubers, are paying sometimes horrendous sums for their avatars in their videos. Because the rigging and the work which has to be put into those kind of avatars is insane. Depending on how much you pay, of course, and there's more work to be done. And there's also a reason why there are a lot of like VTubers who have like stuff on them while they are doing VTubing, right? Like there are software solutions and there are hardware solutions basically, and the really expensive ones are using like also hardware solutions. And then you're seeing this here, and it's like, ooh. All right.
I think a lot of people are interested in the different ways of dying in the game because we can't experience death in real life.
With the eyes and with the face to ask the question about death is like, that's poetic.
Experience death once while playing InZOI, and I found the process quite interesting. There was a relatively realistic flow of mental stress coming from unmet needs, which led to counseling sessions at the hospital and so on. It took quite a bit of time for the Zoe to die of extremely unsatisfied needs. Are there any other types of death in the game?
기장의 이제 가장 핵심적인 기능 중에 하나가 사망인데요.
Ask the
One of the
Sims.
biggest features in this game is
사망이죠.
death.
어떻게 보면
In InZOI, we have a
삶은
lot
이제
of
죽음과
different
함께하는
types of
거죠.
death
그러니까
because life comes.
Okay, first of all, thank you for having the other translator back. Definitely better. Second of all, why does the translator change?
Comes with
인조이
death.
안에서는 일단
In
화장실에
InZOI,
가다가 우연히
you could
이제 미끄덩
go to the bathroom, and if you
쓰러져서
slip,
이렇게 사망하실 수도 있고요.
you might
또는 이제
die.
오래된 음식을 이제
Or if
드시면
you
화장실에
eat
가게 되고
some
사망할 수도
Okay.
old food, you
그리고
might
또
have to
그
go to the
외에도 이제
bathroom and
전자제품
again
고장나서
die.
고치다 보시면
And when you
집에서 하실 수도
fix
있으세요.
broken
그러니까
down
주의하셔야
electronics,
됩니다.
you might get
그리고
electrocuted,
제가
so you need to be
그
careful.
확률을 낮게 놓았는데 이상하게
And
전자제품에서 고장이 나요.
I
그래서
made the
걱정이 좀 됩니다.
chance really
이거
low,
미리를
but
드리면서
actually
그 외에도
electronics can
수없이
very
많은
often
한
break down.
16가지 정도
We
사망이
also
있고요.
have 16
대표적으로
different
인조이만에
types of
있는
deaths.
사망이 무엇이냐라고
Oh.
하면 첫
But one
번째는
thing that
인정
I can
욕구에 대한
say
사망이 있습니다.
that
제가 이
only
욕구를 넣을
exists in
때
InZOI
되게
is
고민을 많이
dying
했는데요.
from the
현대
need for
사회를 살다
recognition.
보면 많은 사람들이
When
다른
in the
사람의
modern
인정
world,
이런 것들을
you
통해서 이제 아무래도
find a
충격감을
lot
받는 게
of
있는데
people
They call that a depression. Yeah.
이런 것들이
feel
비슷하게
fulfilled
반영된 거라고 보시면
from being
됩니다.
recognized by
뭐 예를
others,
들어서
and this
제가
death
어디
reflects
가서
that. For example,
인조이 안에서 누군가랑 막 싸운
in
거예요.
InZOI,
그래가지고
let's say
그게
I fought
소문이
with someone,
돌아서
and
인조이
that rumor
안에서는
spread
저에게 올 수 있어요. 어떻게 돌아오냐면
and came back to
문자를
me.
받게 되거나
I could
또는
get a
다른
text message
친구가
about
저한테
it,
이렇게
or a friend of mine
소문에 대해서 얘기해 주게 돼요.
could
근데
tell me
그때
about the rumor.
만약에 저한테 부정적인 소문이 퍼지면
Then, if
조금
the
인정도가
rumor is
떨어집니다.
negative, then
이
my
인정도가
need for
떨어지는 걸 너무나 많이
acknowledgement
받게 되면
can go
사실은
down.
사망할 수 있습니다.
And
근데
if that
이게
drops too
사회적으로
drastically, then you
문화적으로
might
좀
die from
조심스러운
that.
부분이 있어서
But we want
저희가
to
약간 은유적인
approach
표현으로
this
이거는
carefully
처리해놨죠.
to like
물론 제가 앞서
cultural
말씀드린 어떤
issues, and so
소문이나
we
이
kind of made
SNS는
this
저희가
an
통제하는 것은
allegory of
아닙니다. 제가
sorts.
몇 번
It's not very
말씀드렸지만
direct.
시뮬레이션이 자동으로 되는 거고 온 도시에서
We have,
시스템적으로
like I
퍼져나가는 거에
reiterate,
Can you just imagine? It's like, oh my god, Mole, I heard the rumor. You're really handsome. Oh, I die.
we
I
have
don't-
a
I
simulation.
don't know why I
and
said that.
that's-
I
and
don't know
this type of thing is a
why I
part of
brought
it.
that up.
Another thing I wanted to mention
사람이
about
이렇게
deaths is that you could get
그래서
hit
아마
by
자동차는
cars,
좀 조심하셔야 됩니다.
so you might want to be careful around cars.
게임을 통해서 배우게
Eh.
And you learn through the game that.
Like in real life, I'm sure they will break for me.
We have another question from Emma Nicole. Oh, it's actually a question about cars and driving. Let's hear her question.
Hi, I am Emma Nicole, a gaming content creator from the UK. So, drivable cars have been a hot topic in the InZOI community. So, what challenges did you face implementing them? And ultimately, what led to your decision
I cannot
on how
crank
cars
this up more.
function in gameplay?
역시 인플루언서님이시다 보니까
Something
Yeah.
about
다른 분들
driving.
다른 사례에 대해서
Influencers
되게, 언급을 많이 해주신 것 같아요. 그래가지고
really know about what
지난 플레이
hot topics are
테스트에서
in the
영상을
community.
공개하면서
So as we were
And I'm pretty sure they are
releasing,
not getting told which question to ask because that never happened to influencers like me.
and driving. It's actually very common to see these types of things in life simulations. And I think they were expecting, or Emma Nicole was expecting you to have hit some difficulties knowing that this is a difficult feature to implement. Yeah, actually, we have 300 cars in the city. At first, we were very naive in implementing this feature. When you drive, the traffic lights are green, right?
어느 한쪽이 길어지면 다른 쪽은
And
불편해지는
the
거죠. 뭐
we
예를
have
들어서
pedestrian signals
제가
too. But
운전할
if the
때
traffic lights
내내 신호등이
are
녹색이
green
되면
for a long time, then the
저희들은
pedestrian
횡단보도 앞에
signals are
잔뜩
short.
모여서 길을
So
못
if the
건너게
traffic
되죠.
lights are always green when
반대로
you're driving your
저희들이
car, then the
빨리
ZOIs will
신호등을
just
건너게
gather in
하면
front of the
차들이
crosswalk
계속
and they won't be able to cross.
그래서 이 문제를
And
해결하는 게 너무
vice
어려웠어요.
versa
그리고
for
해결이 안
longer
돼가지고
pedestrian signals.
어떤 이런 교통 시스템에 대한 거를 찾아보러
So
갔더니
I looked
거기에도
up
비슷하게 써 있는 게
traffic
있더라고요.
systems,
그래서
and
동적으로 이렇게 신호등과
there
체계를
was
교통경찰관
something
분들이 조정해
about
준다고요.
traffic
그래서
police
그래서
actually
저희는 근
intervening
1년
and
내내
adjusting
이
the
교통
signal.
시스템에 엄청 고생을 했고요.
So we studied a lot
나름은
about the
그래도
traffic
최선을
systems
다해서 정리를
in the
했는데
year.
물론
We
여전히
tried
아직은
to
부족한
kind of
부분들이
organize what we
많습니다.
learned and
그래서
implement in the
이번에
game, but of
안타깝게도
course there's still a
자동차
lot of room for
운전을
improvement.
저희가 실험 기능을 뺐습니다.
Unfortunately,
그래서
driving
자동차를
is
자유롭게
an
운전하시려면
experimental
옵션에
feature.
들어가셔서
So if you want to like
실험
manually
기능을
drive your car, you
활성화하시면
can
수동
turn
운전이
on
가능하시고요.
the experimental
그러지
feature
않으면
to
좀
test it
자동
out.
운전으로만
If
이동하실 수
not,
있다는
you can
점은
only
좀 많이
drive
양해해 주십시오.
through auto driving.
입장에서는 이걸 좀 오해하실 수 있으니까
And
좀
There will be a
players
lot of GTA in this
might
game, won't there
misunderstand, so let
be?
me kind of summarize what you said.
이거를
So we have
활성화하려면
manual
옵션에
driving,
들어가서
but you
들어가야
have to
된다고
go to the game
말씀하셨습니다.
options and turn it on for you to
그러면 이제
enjoy that feature.
다음
Okay, that
질문은
makes sense.
영상으로
Yes.
또 준비됐다고 하니까
We
Because it's
have
not fully
the next
finished yet.
video, so let us hear that.
There will be a lot of dead people.
Hi, I'm Zoe from the official InZOI China fan page. I am a simulation game creator based in China. I've been following InZOI since the play test last year. I really love the game. Recently, while playing the game, I had a question. Are there any plans to introduce multiplayer in InZOI?
This is so uncanny, man. This is it reminds me a lot of the first like a few years ago, like the AI animated pictures kind of thing.
And if so, how do you envision the multiplayer feature?
But yeah, multiplayer, interesting. That's a very good
Well,
question.
actually, I don't understand Chinese, so we got this pre-translated. Let me read that.
많은 분들의
네.
관심사인 것 같은 게
I believe a lot of people are
인조이는 앞으로 이제
interested
멀티플레이
in
개념, 이제 온라인 멀티플레이
this,
말씀하시는 거죠. 그
like
기능을
online
출시할
multiplayer.
계획이
Does
있으실까요?
InZOI have
만약에
plans to
있으시다면
release online
구체적으로
multiplayer?
어떤 식으로
If
계획을 하고
so,
계시는지 궁금하십니다.
how
Probably
do you envision
much
that
later,
future will
probably
look?
after the release.
Yes,
If
we've received a lot of questions about the multiplayer in ZOI. I thought about why, and I've been thinking maybe it's because I've built MMORPGs for the past 20 or so years.
멀티플레이를 정말 기대하신다면
If
그
our
이유가
players
있기도 합니다.
really
네네네.
anticipate
저는 이제
multiplayer,
얼리
maybe that's
시작하면서
why.
생각했던 게 하나가
One thing I was thinking about our
멀티플레이에
early
대해서
access
유저분들이
release
정말 간절히
was
원하시거나 많은
that
요구사항을
if we get a
하신다면
lot of feedback
그
and
내용을
demands from our
구체적으로
players on
들어서
multiplayer,
개발하려고 생각하고
then
있어요.
maybe we could get more specific
뭐 예를
ideas
들어서
and
이제
start
제가
implementing them.
전문가니까 말씀드리면
What do you mean by specific?
멀티플레이라는 건 이런 겁니다. 조엘린과
Well,
제가
since
있는데
I'm
제가
an expert on
만약에
subjects,
이제
let me
이름을
elaborate.
들었어요.
네.
Let's say
조엘린한테
you and I
이
are in the
내용을
same room and I picked
PD는
up this doll.
들었어라고 정보를 전달해
Mm.
주는데요.
Then
제가 아는 거고.
Joel
맞습니다.
needs to
이게
receive
이제
the signal that I picked
멀티플레이인데
up this doll.
그러면 이걸
That's the
만들려면
basis
이제
of multiplayer.
인조이는 수만 가지
But in InZOI, we have
상호작용과
all of these different
시뮬레이션을
interactions and
같이 들어오는
simulations
사람들과
running,
분파를 해야
and
되거든요.
all of that
이게
needs to be
너무
sent to all of the
부담스러운
people in
거예요.
multiplayer.
만약에
Yes.
That's
여러분들이
actually a
그런 게
lot of
아니라
pressure and a big load.
내 집에 조엘님이 와서 우리
Giggity.
구경만
If you're
한다.
not looking
네.
for that, then maybe
책상을
we could
열어놓고요.
have
구경만
me inviting Joel
한다.
to this room.
그러면 이제 뭐 저랑
Then
채팅을
I
한다.
can open a
Yeah.
Discord and you can know.
So
Or we can
sorry
like
for
chat together.
interrupting here again. Like a lot of people underestimate what multiplayer does, especially in those type of games. This is why people have been asking for The Sims to have multiplayer for such a long time, and why it's not easy implemented into a game. Now the good news is they're using Unreal Engine 5, which is coming with a base level of multiplayer features, because the Epic service and all that is running in the background. Krafton also is very much versed in online gaming, MMORPGs and all that. So it's not really too surprising that they would have the know-how and the server capacities and all that in the background. But with all that said, there are still the gameplay aspects, which, as he actually described in a very easy example, they have to do right. Like being in sync with each other, with so many things happening at the same time, is creating a lot of issues. So, as I said, and as they basically said, if people are demanding it enough, if there are enough people playing this game, I can see them adding this probably after the release in 1 or 2 years, right? Because multiplayer would be its own feature, which warrants a lot of development time and a lot of people. So they would probably first try to add as many features as possible so that it is easier to translate them over into multiplayer. And or maybe they're doing it gradually, we will see. But if it comes after the release, I assume.
Or you could look at what I'm doing, like my motions. If we could do something like that on a smaller scale, then that could be implemented. Then you might not be able to do interactions together, but if you can just implement like knowing what the other player is doing, that's easy.
Yeah. So if they want to do like you can invite somebody over to your house and then they can still interact with stuff you are not interacting with and you are just sending that information, that's easier to do. If you want to have now, like as I said, actual interactions with each other, and you want to span this over the whole city and not just the house you are in, yeah. Come back later.
Yeah, it's easier. So if you could please give us more specific ideas, then we will look at them. I've been writing Cajun's concerns. Maybe I'll start writing something like Cajun's hopes or Cajun's remorse. Okay, hope it doesn't turn to Cajun's remorse. Yeah, we'll keep communicating with the community.
Yeah.
So please give us a lot of ideas.
At least they are open to it.
Doing that.
At least they are open to
So
it.
to summarize, multiplayer is possible.
Yeah.
But we do need guidance from the players on what direction we want to go for the multiplayer feature. So please send us the feedback.
Okay, that's
that would
good.
really help Cajun a lot.
That's good.
Next question is from France. Luke and NS. Let's watch the video.
France.
Hello from France.
I'm Luque. I'm a French creator.
Bonjour.
And play a lot of games, simulation games, survival games, and more.
I'm NS or Noémie Stinguet. I'm on YouTube and Twitch and I play simulation games. Thank you for having us today. We have a few questions for you. We were part of the playtest in August, so we're glad to be able to ask you directly some questions.
How much drama can we expect in a game? Player loves tension and conflict in gameplay. To what extent can we be mean to the ZOI? And on the other hand, how can we be?
Will these events unfold naturally? For example,
Well, we will probably get the question when, this is super quiet. Like, I have pretty good headsets and a pretty good hearing, but man, they will answer this and they will ask the question again. So
You did touch upon this slightly in the presentation, but there's also drama. Life is not always peaceful. There's some conflict, like betrayal and stuff. There's the spicy stuff in life. And when
in
you
my sim
presented,
game,
I
well,
recall
certainly
you
hope
said
so.
you were very interested in this. Is there anything? Yeah, previously when I was talking with Joel, you could specifically tell whether you liked me or hated me or not. But now we've kind of made it more vague, so you can infer the relationship. You can pick up on information.
That's cool. I
through
like
these
that.
conversations
It's
and
not
try
that
to infer
obvious
the
if
relationship.
somebody likes or hates you. Like, that's the thing
Another
in The
thing
Sims, right?
we added.
Whereas in The Sims, it's mostly just somebody likes you, somebody is indifferent about you, somebody hates your guts. And you always know that. That information is always available to you. And that's, of course, not how humans work. Well, they can, but in the daily life, things are much more complicated, right? So I like the idea that they are trying to infer that.
Not sure if this will translate well, but we have really severe ups and downs.
길거리에 나가서 막 소리도 지르고.
So, I mean, Zois could suddenly go out in the street and like yell. Like I kind of wanted to do that,
많이 넣었어요.
but I think we succeeded in adding some of those interruptions.
Yes, I am also
I mean,
going on my
it doesn't
balcony
really
now and then and
suit you, I
scream
think,
into the
because I've
neighborhood.
always taken you to be a calm person.
And then my neighbor would
Yeah,
just
maybe I'm
shout back
expressing
at
that
me
in
and
the
go,
game.
"You're right, but
If
it's
you play
11 p.m.
InZOI
Shut
and you click on your Zoi, you can do actions on your own. For example, if I'm with a friend and suddenly I'm angry, I could just yell, or I could tell people to get out of my room. Then the Zois would get surprised and just leave the room.
Get out, chat.
I
Get out."
wanted to add a lot of features that makes these relationships dramatic. Yeah, and there was actually also a more specific question. What you
Wait,
mentioned
no, that's a bad
was
idea.
your Zoi, being able
Stay.
to control your
Chat,
Zoi.
stay.
But what about other Zois? Can other Zois also kind of suddenly lose it?
They should.
Let's say we're a couple. We're married.
Oh my, it's
Then
getting
if
spicy in
I'm
here.
away from home and I didn't tell my wife, maybe my wife might text me like, "Where are you?" There are a lot of such features.
Oh,
might-
interesting. So they actually
now we
wonder
have
where
a
you
lot
are if
of
you're not telling
live
that to people.
questions as well, but we
I
have
hope it's not
one
too
more
much
question
detailed
from
in that
an influencer.
regard.
We'll watch that video and then move on to the live questions. Hello, I'm Pangjang Rara, here as a Zoe. I'm a YouTuber based in Korea, specializing in life simulation games and building games. I love games that involve decorating spaces, so when I played InZOI, I enjoyed walking around Dowon and Bliss Bay as if I was traveling or taking drives with my car. I
Okay.
especially found there were all these details even in the small alleys and tiny decorations. Did you
I'm really
make
curious about
on-site
this,
surveys to
the
design
city
the
thing,
maps, or
because
do you have any
we
personal
didn't really
favorite
had a
spaces
lot of
that you
cities
incorporated?
since
I'm curious to know if there were any special
Sims 3,
considerations or
basically.
stories behind the creation of the maps, and if there are any hidden Easter eggs or unique places
Like The Sims
you think
4
gave
had
us
basically
hints to look out
just
for.
areas.
정말 재밌는 질문인데요.
Wow, this is a
사실
fun
이제
question to
개발자가
answer.
이제 게임을 만들 때 뭔가
When
여러
developers
도시를 이렇게
make
탐방하고 그래서
games, you might
역시
imagine
인조이
that
세계라는
we
여기가 딱 맞겠구나
visit
해서
a lot
만든
of different
것은
cities
아니고요.
and
저는
pick
그냥
one, but we did not
우리의
get to do
맵은
that.
그냥
Dowon in
제가 살고
InZOI
있는
was
동네입니다.
just based
그래서
on my
이스터에그는
neighborhood.
아닌데
So
이제
it's not
도원의
an
한쪽
Easter
구석에
egg per
이제 제가
se, but in
실제로
a
살고
corner
있는
of Dowon,
집이
you might be able to
있습니다.
find
근데 이제
the
게임을
house
갈
that
수는
I
없고요.
live in.
저쪽
You
끝에
can't
있는데
really interact with
그런
it,
부분도 있고
but it is there.
실제로 인조이 게임안에는 이스터에그가 있습니다.
He
And
made
we
the
do
smart
have
thing not to
Easter
let
eggs
people
in the
interact
game.
with his
So
house in the
if you explore
game.
a lot, you might
그거는
find
이제
some
뭔가
odd signs.
너무 말씀드리면 안 되는데 이제
Or
폴리스
I don't want
라인이
to
쳐져
be
있는 것도 있고요.
too
그리고
open,
뭐
but you
이상한
might
약간
find
카드나
police investigation tape,
장식품들도 놓여 있는 게 있어요.
or you might
이런
find
것들을
funny
개발할 때
decorations
많이
around.
넣으려고 저희가 노력을
We
Okay.
tried our
특히나
best to
인조이라는
add these kind of
게임은
odd
You
이제
find a lot
features.
of police investigation tape around my house specifically, but don't
You can
ask how that
also,
got
we
here.
also worked on going
Also ignore
beyond
the bodies
decorating
on
the
the
city,
street.
but also adding
This is a
more.
normal occurrence on my house.
아마 곳곳을 돌아다니면서 그런
So
인조이 안에
if you
세계관을 느낄 수 있게
explore a
만들려고
lot,
했습니다.
you
Fun
might be able to
fact,
pick
I'm
up
not
on
the
more.
game director.
사실 다
The
그런 의미에서
books
만든
here
수출입니다. 그래서
also
지금
The
are
game
kind of
director
a hint.
is dead.
So hope you
I'm an
enjoy.
imposter.
드디어 여러분들이 지금
Surprise.
All right, now we're done with the pre-compiled questions. Now we'll move on to the live questions we received.
최대한 답변 드리려고 하지만
We'll try to answer as many questions as possible, but due to limited time, we might not be able to answer a lot of them. We'll do our best though.
그러면 제가 지금 본 것
That is to
중에서
be expected with thousands of people
So,
watching.
There was one question that
인조이
caught
크리에이티브
my eye.
데모를 이제 크리에이티브 스튜디오 이제 열었잖아요.
We've
그
opened
열게
the
되면
Creative
거기서
Studio demo.
만드는 이제 크리에이션을
The
창작물을
creations from the
그거를
demo.
이제 본 버전에서 본
맞습니다.
게임에서
네.
이어서
Can
플레이할 수
we
있는 거예요.
play them
대신에 그
in
만드신
the
것들이
early
A lot of
access
people
release,
asked
the
us.
full?
Yes.
파일이 약간 오류가 나실 수 있습니다.
Yes, you
왜냐면
can,
저희가
but
계속 개발하다 보니까
their save
버전
file
차이가
might
나면
encounter an
오류가
error if
있는데
they're
캔버스에
a
올려놓으시면
different version.
캐릭터라든가
But if you
Mm.
upload them
충분히
to
이동할 수
Canvas,
있으니까
you can
이번
move
데모
them
때 즐겁게
to
즐기시고
the new release.
또
So
28일
please
때도 계속 이어서
enjoy the
즐겨주시기 바랍니다.
demo, and also you can continue
다음
what you've
질문은
played on early
이거
access.
저 뭔지 알아요.
That's good.
그러니까 요즘
Next question. question.
Good, good, good. So it's not a waste of
These
time.
days, there are a lot of functions being implemented in games where they use AI for conversations. We don't have it in InZOI yet, but do you have plans to kind of
그럼요. 저희가 그걸
be able
검토하고
to
있습니다.
speak verbally with the
이제
Zoids?
아마
Oh,
그
verbally.
Yeah, sure.
성능이 괜찮으시면
If you have a
아마도
good hard
이번에도
drive
스마트 조이를 저희가
performance,
실험 기능으로 즐기실
we
수가
have the
있으세요.
smart ZOI
28일 이후에
feature
이제
as
얼리 액세스
experimental
버전이잖아요.
feature.
그리고 또 그 기능 중에
And
일부분이 아까 말씀하신 것처럼 뭐 대화
you
밖에서 보시는 것처럼
can
인조에도 대화하는 걸 저희가
No, I want the
구체적으로
other
하고 있습니다.
translator back.
현재 이번
conversations
얼리 액세스
with
기능에 들어가지
those
못했지만 저희도 들어가면 되게 좋을 것
NPCs.
같아요. 그리고 더욱이 인조에는
And
그런 거에서 가장 뛰어난 제 생각 효과가 날 거라고 판단합니다.
InZOI
이유는 왜
will
그러냐면
be
보통
most
게임을
effective
만들면 이
in
게임의
doing something
주변에
like
사물들의
this
정보가
because
없어요. 근데 인조이는 주변에 사물의
InZOI
모든 정보를 갖고 있는 게임이기
has
때문에
이미 준비가 되어 있는
information
실제로는
on
그걸
all
연결하시게
the
되면 아마
objects
더
that are
놀라운 장면을 보실
in
수도 있으실
the
거예요.
screen that are
좋네요.
being
이제 준비는 돼
simulated.
있다.
뭐,
예.
예, 저희도
So
가끔
we're
그런
ready.
논의를 하고 있습니다.
너무 좋네요. 이거
That's great.
개인적으로도 그거 듣기는 되게 재밌겠다. 그리고 인조에 되게 어울리겠다 싶었거든요.
I really thought that that
그럼
kind of
다음
feature would be great for
질문으로
InZOI.
넘어가면
Okay, let's move on
이거는
to the
살짝
next question.
Yeah,
로드맵
they have also
관련된
announced that they're
So
working
next
with
question is about
NVIDIA
the
on some
roadmap.
AI stuff.
현재 이제 나온 출시된 맵에서
Or the
다른
actual maps in
오픈월드
InZOI.
지역이 이게 거기 안에서 추가되거나
Will
또는
there be
확장될 계획은 있으신지?
expanded maps in the open world? Okay, so we are creating the next city right now, and the cities in the build can be expanded. There will be added areas like the department store. That's what I really want to put into one. So that's a sneak peek. We don't want to just add land spaces. We want to add more functional areas like the department store example I gave. Okay, so next question
Not just
is about the base system we have.
having a bigger world, but basically having something to do in it, which I
Are
totally
there any
support.
changes that will
That's a good
occur
thing.
as the Zoe relationship matures?
절친과는 일반 친구들과 다른 행동을 하는 것처럼
How about
깊은 관계의 종류가
friendship?
다양하게 있으실지.
What if friendships get older? What happens? Okay, I think I'm pretty confident about this feature. As you have older and deeper relationship with your friend, you'll have different levels of conversations you can have. Let me give you an example with the engagement. So if you meet a friend when you get engaged, your friend might say something like this: "Are you really going through with this marriage?"
So, at the beginning of your friendship, you talk about video games and how much fun life is. Then later on, you will talk about how buying a house is not feasible, life insurance is far too high, and the egg prices go up and up. And then, of course, after a much longer time with your friends, you're also talking about politics, and then realize that you don't want to be friends with them anymore. And that's that. Too real? Too real.
It's a thing that a close friend can only say, right? So this type of new conversations might arise. And we are trying to really add more depth into relationships. Okay, let's move on to the next question. This is one of the highlights of today's presentation. There was the facial capture feature that you introduced. So can you use this feature with webcam?
Highlight, but okay.
So we have a really great facial capture system. We have more than 100 bones in the face, and we have very intricate movements in the face. What you saw on the screen before, this is just available with iPhones. So you place your iPhone in front of you, and there's a webcam. The webcam catches your motion, and the smartphone, your iPhone, will do the facial capture.
It's kind of weird that it's only
motion
available to
capture, it doesn't
iPhone,
matter what kind of
especially
webcam you use.
with
It
a
could
company
be
from
a
South
camera
Korea
on
who is very
a
much
PC.
Samsung bound.
And I didn't show it to you today, but you can also take pictures
사진을 원하는 사진의 포즈를
using
찍으실 수도 있습니다.
this combination.
발표 영상에서도 이런 장면이 나와서
I
저도 딱
think
되게
there
딱
was a
좋겠다
scene in
싶었는데
the video that
그
you showed.
인플루언서분들 중에서 방송하실 때
네.
그
I
본인
think
얼굴로 이제 그
influencers
카메라를
can
하는 게 아니라
also
그 캐릭터를
use
이렇게
그쵸.
모션을 입혀서
네.
하시잖아요. 근데
the
그런 분들이
characters
만약
that they
이 기능을 이제
create
탑재하실 거면
and
이제
use
웹캠으로
these features
몸을 하는 이제
맞습니다.
모션
네.
캡처를
so they
When
하시고
they
can use
have
the
an
webcam
iPhone.
얼굴까지 이거
to
모션을
get
이제
their
익히시려면 그 페이셜
motion
캡처는 이제 iOS
and
계정으로 하셔야
네.
they
된다.
can use an iPhone to
알겠습니다.
do the facial capture. Okay.
이거 참 좋은 질문인데
And there's a really good question.
Oh,
You have
that's
to
why they
answer
didn't
this.
invite me to all of this, because I do not have
But
an
just hear me out.
iPhone.
해보고 싶은 브랜드나
That's my
If
problem.
있다면 어떤 게 있을까요?
InZOI is
특정
a
브랜드
success,
말씀하시기 좀 위험하시면 좀
do you have any
어떤
collaborations that you want to
카테고리,
have?
어떤 그런 것들이 이게
You
관심이
can mention
있으신지가
categories if you
개인적으로
don't
이제
want to
궁금한 것
mention
같아요.
brand
생각이.
names.
사실 인조이를
I'm really curious about this one.
너무
Okay.
많은 이렇게
A
좋은 브랜드분들이
lot
와주셔서
of
너무
different
감사드렸어요.
brands
이미
approached
네.
us for collaborations actually.
너무 바빠가지고
We were too busy.
Collaborations, aka sponsorships, aka ad placement. Oh boy. Enjoy your Dr. Pepper cherry.
With
어렸을 때
preparing
게임에
for
들어있는
early
거는 이제 뭐
access,
한국의 대표적인
and
이제 뭐
so
차량회사,
we have
그다음에 가전회사들만 들어가 있습니다.
Probably a
외국에
lot of
a car
K-pop.
company
주얼리나
in
뭐
the
이런 쪽도
early
굉장히 많이
access
왔습니다.
field.
저는
We
개인적으로 이렇게
got
우리도 보시면 이제
approached by a
주얼리가
lot
참
of
많은데
jewelry brands as well.
주얼리 회사를 정말
I like
Of course.
jewelry
인조이는
personally.
정말 뛰어난 표현이
So
가능하거든요.
진짜 예쁘잖아요.
예,
we
맞습니다.
can
그래서 아마 저는 만약에 저한테
show
질문 뭘 하고 싶냐 그러면 아마
jewelry in a lot of
주얼리
detail.
회사를
So I think
I will say this. I hate that because the problem with real stuff is like depending on the company who is advertising in your game, you are also linking yourself to that company and vice versa. And let's be honest here, there are just some companies where I'm like, do I really want those companies in my games? Like seriously, especially a game I paid for, and then you were still putting like advertisement in front of me. And I know people will say, but no, it's adding realism. No, let's be honest, it's mostly advertisement. And you can create, like, when you show me a jewel ring, I totally get that it is a jewel ring, right? Like, you don't have to put like a label on it from a company who's also probably somehow involved in blood diamonds or some bullshit, and now I'm wearing like a wonderful blood diamond in your game. Of course, if you want to do that, fine, yeah, sure, let's do that. But it's like, when you have like companies adding stuff to your game, it's the same thing with car companies, right? It's this, do I need a Porsche or a Mercedes or something in my video game, which is not like let's say a racing game, right? Like, do I need that?
I think I would like to collaborate with jewelry brands. If you want to work with us, please call K-Jung.
이것도 좀 좋은 질문인 것 같은 게
Now we
많은
have
분들이
another good
궁금해하실 것
question.
같아서 여쭤보겠습니다. 이게 지금은 early access를 이번에 출시하는
So
거잖아요. 이제
this is
이분이
an early
물어보신
access
거는 최종
launch.
게임, 이게 full release라고 하는 그 개념은
So
언제로
when
저희가
can we
예상하는 게
expect
맞는
the
건지
full
궁금하시나
release,
하네요.
the full launch of the game?
모르겠습니다. 제가
Well,
저도 사실은
I'm not
정확하게는
sure.
말씀드리기 어려운데요.
At least a
I can't
year,
really be sure at this moment.
from what we have seen. At least a
I've
year.
said this multiple times, but I think InZOI has a long way to go, and
I expect 2
we
years, if
are
not longer.
taking early access very seriously.
정식 출시라는 게
And
제가 최대한 빠르게 저도 정식 출시가 되면 좋겠지만
I would
하지만
love for
여러분들이 정말
the full launch to be in the near future.
인조이는
I think doing early access, sorry if I interrupt them here. I think early access is the right thing to do in this case, Because look at The Sims 4. The Sims 4 came out, and a lot of people back in the day, keep in mind that The Sims nearly failed as a brand because of The Sims 4, and that they nearly gave up on it. Like after the first expansion, there were two options for The Sims 4. There was fixing the game, listening to the community, and implementing the things people wanted, or just abandoning it because the first expansion didn't sell well, the base game didn't sell well. Like EA was particularly unhappy with the performance of The Sims 4, and a lot of people just stick with The Sims 3. And one of the main reasons was clearly that nobody listened to the community. Like a lot of the features which were implemented, a lot of people asked themselves, why? Like the whole mood system. Like they sold the mood system as this cornerstone of The Sims 4 and how important it is, and how it will completely change the approach on how you play The Sims, and so on and so forth, right? Like, and then it was in the game, and it wasn't even remotely close to that, right? And people just said, holy shit, the only thing it does is that I basically have to follow the mood system if I want to have my Sims to be happy, if I want to have like any progress in this game. I always have to do what the mood system is telling me. This is terrible. And now the mood system, which was basically a cornerstone of the release of the game, is now a suggestion of, hey, you don't know what to do, follow the moods, or you don't give a shit, okay, cool. Right? Like, there were so many things people were asking, and nobody listened because, well, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that developers know what they're doing with the game. They do, very much. But when it comes to, like, a long-running game, a long-running series like The Sims, and you are just removing things or changing things without even asking what your long-running community, your core community, thinks about this, and doesn't even understand why you changed it, like pools and like swimming and all that, which wasn't in the game. And people were like, what do you mean swimming is not in the game? What do you mean swimming pools are not in the game? They're in the game since The Sims 1. How did you thought that nobody wants this? Oh yeah, it's really hard to do, and yeah, our engine is not really made for this. And I'm like, well, then this should have been like the first red flag for you, that maybe the engine you were using at the beginning is not really what you need. And yes, they completely swapped out the engine at some point. Oof, that must have been something. Or toddlers, where they were like, oh yeah, like you don't have toddlers, you don't need toddlers, toddlers are useless, and so we thought they wouldn't be fun, so we didn't put them into the game. And the Sims community was like, well, yeah, you were right, they are useless because they are toddlers. Like, just maybe that's what a toddler is, but just having people jumping from baby to small child feels just weird, right? There were so many weird things which were just outright missing, which were stable of The Sims, even in the base games, for so many years and decades, and they didn't listen to the community. So actually having somebody here saying, okay, you know what, we want to listen to the community, we want to get their input, we have ideas, of course, on our own, we have things planned, but we also want to hear from you, I think is the right approach. Now, if they are doing it right, I can't say. Nobody can, right?
정식 출시를
But
하면
I want to wait until everyone agrees with me that we are ready to go with the full launch. So are you saying that you need the players' permission?
좀 이상하죠. 네, 그렇게 하시면. 네.
Yeah, I think we have to all agree
네.
that
좋습니다. 뭐
and
어쨌든
be on the
정해진
same
건
page about
아니지만
this.
그
Okay.
저희의 어쨌든 목표가
So
계속
nothing's set in
게임을
stone,
저희
and your
유저분들과
I expect
goal
this
is
game to
to
be
communicate
2
with
years
the
in early
players
access,
and
괜찮다고
complete
at
the game.
least.
And you want to wait until
그때 이제
the
완성된
players
모습을
are okay with you.
네.
Okay, let me put it this way. So
라고 하면
if I can say with confidence we have core fans, I think that's when you can do the full launch. Okay,
네, 이거
that sounds
바로 또 밑에 있는
reasonable.
질문이지만
Okay,
어우,
there's
이거
another
여쭤봐도
question
되나
right after that
모르겠네요.
question.
아, 네.
Word of mouth.
I don't know if I can ask this
게임상에서
question, but let me go ahead.
비행기 같은 기능들
How about airplanes?
날아다니는 그
Can we
지금
expect
현재로서는 뭐 차가 있는 것만으로도
flying
이미
objects?
대단한데
I mean,
그 이제
it's great
살짝
that
그
we have
날아다니는
cars
것도
already, but
또
can
이제
we
Yeah,
expect
flight
other
simulator in
어려운
InZOI.
flying
거거든요. 네,
objects
그런 것들이 뭐 나중에
in the
계획이라도
future?
있으실지 이제
Do you have any
궁금하네요.
plans?
차만 해도 힘들어서요.
Okay, cars have given us enough headache.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we are ready for planes, but let me share with you an anecdote. So we were working on something with the dev team, and one of the team members asked me about gliding feature. Hey Cajun, how about if we enable people to glide? How about if we allow free falling? Slowly free falling from the building? I'm not sure about the airplanes yet. I don't think we're ready yet. Okay, not sure if I should
Jumping
mention
from
this.
buildings.
Oh,
Oh, I'm glad that never happens for
You
specific
have
reasons.
experience making a game with flying objects, right? So yeah.
Just look. If you want to have flying in your game, just do it like World of Warcraft has been doing it for decades now at this point. It's just swimming. They just use swimming, enable swimming everywhere, and then they put a graphic underneath you, which is your flying mount, which does the swoosh, swoosh. But in reality, it's your character just swimming through the air with a mount underneath it, which doesn't do anything. It's there flying, and has been there flying for decades. Just do that. Nobody noticed.
Yeah, I do have experience in that.
이거는 좀 질문이 저희가 다른 채널
Okay,
통해서도
so
그 살짝 언급한 적이 있었는데
this has been
뭐 이번
mentioned in a
기회를 통해서
different
좀 더
channel,
상세하게 말씀 주시면
but
좋을 것
I think
같아가지고
we should
이거
mention this
관심이
anyways.
있어가지고 보면
So
감옥에 갈
here
수도
we go.
있나요? 굉장히
Can
간단
you
질문.
also go to the jail? Yes, you can.
갇히면 여러분들이 막 할
If
수
you
없는
Consequences.
일이 있고요. 거기서
Stuck in jail,
먹고 주무실 수도 있고
네.
you
견딜
can
수는 있는데
eat and
너무
sleep
감옥에
and
완전히 갇혀서 못 나오게 해놓진 않았어요.
have your daily life
여러
there, but
시스템들이 간섭하다 보면 탈주가 가능하게
you
돼요.
could actually
저희가
break
그거를
out of jail as well.
내부에서 회의를
Oh.
많이 했는데 절대
Oh.
못 나오게 해야 돼라는
Well, no, what my first plan is
네.
The dev
아니 탈주를
team
해도
members,
그것도
some of
되는데
them
왜 막아요?
said
이런 사람이 있어서
did
you
go
have
to jail.
limit them into being
So we wanted to
confined in
make
the
it
jail.
as realistic as possible, and so we wanted to really build in a law system in our game. And to understand the law system better, we basically came all together with some knives and then stepped one of our co-colleagues. Some of us did go to jail, and now they're in the jail for life. But they gave us some amazing insights on how the jails work and gave us also some really nice pictures. We are really grateful to them. But yeah, this is how we implement a jail and the law system in our video game. And yeah, it was a really great experience. Oh, and by the way, my condolences to the worker.
하시면 돼요.
But some said that jailbreak should be possible, so we met in the middle ground, and it is sort of possible. And
알겠습니다.
yes, you can go to jail.
얼리엑스에서 지나면 지날수록
Sims never allowed that,
I guess
which is kind of
this
funny.
can also develop over
그
time.
다음 질문도
Yes.
아 이것도 확실히 그
Okay, let's go to the next
특정
question.
유저분들이 굉장히
Well,
질문이어가지고
Okay, vampires, werewolves,
Oh,
of
so fantasy stuff.
fantastical
Oh, this would be interesting.
things that would be available in the game.
This is
I think
interesting.
I unofficially showed a video. I created a vampire Zoe.
What
Our
is that
team
supposed to
members
mean?
like to share what they create in the game, and one of the team members had a vampire, and it was very interesting to me. So I think as soon as we are pretty much done with the early access phase, I think we can start adding things like that. We can definitely have fantastical elements in the game.
Fantastic.
Okay, and we can actually change the skin color to extreme degrees, right? You can have blue skin even. So to some degree, you can already.
I think this is a good thing to mention. Like, as I said, the fantastical elements in The Sims is what makes Sims for a lot of people interesting. You can completely decide that you don't want to interact with the fantastical elements and the fantastical DLCs in The Sims if you so desire, and you never have anything to do with it if you want to keep it realistic, right? For people who are like, nah, that fantasy shit, that's not mine. You can do that. You can do that in The Sims, right? But I always thought that it adds like a level of fun to the game, like because it's still a video game. And that they're offering that in this game at some point is a good thing. Now, they will probably add it as a DLC, and then it's up to you to make the decision if you want that or not. And that's okay, right? I think that will be one of the first paid DLCs I can totally see them doing. And that's a good way of doing it. That's the right way of doing it.
Create some fantasy world. Okay, next question. This is something that I want. You didn't talk about this in the roadmap, but I'm curious what you think, K-Jun. So you talked about the idol feature once. Is it possible to implement it and even have concerts? Like with K-pop idols can be jobs, right? Right. So I think K-pop idols can be created and under Adam Entertainment, and we have plans to develop it, but it'll take time. Okay, I think we have to wrap up right now. There's a signal for us to stop. But we have open channels on Discord, and you can ask questions to us anytime. K-Jun, closing remarks. Thank you, everyone. I have been developing games for over 20 years, but it's first time for me to stand in front of you like this and introduce a game like this. In Korea, in gaming industry, we say releasing a game is like giving birth to a child. And it's actually really touching for me to introduce InZOI to all of you like
It's
this.
not too wrong.
And
it's not too wrong. Look at Yoshi P.
keep listening to you. And I
That
will
man aged
do my
30
best
years in 10 years of Final Fantasy
create the
XIV.
best life simulation game. Please join me.
He adopted a child.
And I hope we enjoy InZOI together. Thank you.
That was good. That was good. Let's do a quick recap. Yes, let's do a quick recap for a YouTube video I want to do. and then I think we can talk a little bit more about it, and then we might play some video games. And then I might be back tomorrow with the demo thing. But let's do a quick recap here. How about that? We just watched the InZOI showcase here on the channel. I'm also recording this live. And there were a lot in it. The first important thing for everyone who is watching, the game will cost $40 or your regional equivalent. You have to look that up, but it would be $40, 40 euros in early access. And the early access will go for at least a year because we have already seen the roadmap into 2026. And there's quite a bit of stuff there, but the game will be at least in early access for a year. I would even think it will be 2 years, if not more. They made it very clear that they want early on feedback from the people, and they want to add things to the game depending on what the community wants and what the community thinks is the right thing to do. So that's a pretty important announcement they made. They also talked very briefly about the studio demo, which is going into early access for free, of course, tomorrow, and then unlocks on the 23rd for everyone, where you can create another InZOI, and you can also build stuff. And the cool stuff is is that you can actually take all those things into early access. You can upload them to Canvas, which is basically their cloud safe, and then you can use that in the early access version of the game. They're also showing here some cool 3D printer stuff you can utilize. So they had a lot of nice announcements here. Another thing they talked about, which I think is very important to note, is not just early access, the roadmap and the price tag, but also multiplayer. So a lot of people have been wondering, will this game have multiplayer? And they made it clear that no, not at release. There's no multiplayer. But, and that's a big but, if the community really, really wants multiplayer, they want to know how, which direction they want to go. There are basically two ways of how they see multiplayer. There is the more condensed multiplayer, where you are being invited into a house and then you can do a little bit something together. You can visit them, you can interact with some of the items, but that's more or less it. Or the community wants the real multiplayer experience, which means that you can just go into a world of another player and then you can interact with all the NPCs there. You can interact immediately with the other players. So let's say you are holding an item, they are holding an item, and then you can put them together or do something together, like a real MMO experience. But they're open to it. If they are doing it, though, it would take a bit. Like, this is not something they will put together in a month or 3, and it would take quite a bit. They have also been talking about families. Family trees are coming later. The same goes for swimming, for pools, and that is all coming in August this year, right? The family tree is even coming in, I think, in October, and they will add more and more features, more and more items to the game as early access is progressing. Very important. That's for free. You pay the $40, and then at least till the release, everything they are releasing there with new additions, new improvements, patches and fixes, of course, they will all be free. And then when 1.0 is coming out, and there is, of course, a community to support this game and all that, then they will gladly add more DLCs to the game. Another feature they have talked about they want to add for early access is driving is in the game, right? There's driving right now, but basically the system they have tested is the automatic driving, which basically is you are starting at your home, you are driving to work, it's a click, that's that. But if you want to do the actual like first person driving and you want to drive manually, it's an experimental feature. It's in the game. You can activate it in the multiplayer, but there might be issues with it. Big issues or bugs or something like that, right? So keep that in mind. They are improving that over time. I think that's also coming in October, they said. Or was it August? August or October. So it seems like every 3 months we will get a pretty hefty update in this game, right? Like the first big patch will be in May, then the next one is in August, then we have October, and then we have December. So 2 to 3 months. Like they also made it very clear that features and the things they have already promised on the roadmap will change depending on what the community wants and what they can do. And so far, it sounded all pretty good. Like, I wasn't skeptical about the game before I watched this, but I had questions. Right. I had quite a bit of questions. And it seems like they are very much aware of what makes The Sims a successful game. They also talked about, speaking about DLCs here, by the way, they also talked about some of the fantastical elements The Sims has, right? Like vampires, werewolves, magic, and something like that. And they said that they are very much open to that. But that will be something they will probably target after the release. And that makes sense, right? They are building on a new city, AI build features, skyscrapers, like actual real skyscrapers and not like in The Sims. Like, again, they're working on a lot of the main features which are more important to them right now. And that's what they will focus on in early access to get that all in, to get that all working. And then they will see what the community wants next when they are releasing the game. And this is why I say I do believe that early access of this game will take about 2 years, if not even longer. Like, again, they made it clear that they want to be on the same page as their community, and they would basically ask their community, is the game release ready? Do you think it is now in a state where we can actually release this to the public? So they totally want like the core community at the beginning and the fans which are very vocal. And if you want a game which is completely finished without any issues, any bugs, or any features missing, then you might want to wait till early access is progressing further or till it then at some point releases. But for now, early access, Friday the 28th, $40, and your regional equivalent. And it seems like a lot of the base features are already there, which is a really, really good sign. I was a little bit afraid that when they started to show the roadmap, that maybe something is missing, or like some of the really big features which you kind of want from the beginning are not there. And I had to laugh a little bit when they showed the swimming pools and the swimming itself coming in August, and this not being right there at the beginning. And I was like, hey, like The Sims 4. But again, August is pretty quick, and it's okay, right? Like that's pretty fast in comparison to The Sims 4. But beyond that, it really seems like all the main features are available right from the get-go. And I think that's really important. Of course, we will see how it really works and how well everything is when it goes into early access next week. And I will definitely check it out when that happens. But let's just say I'm looking forward to it now. I really do. So with that said, we are at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like. And also, if you want to see more InZOI videos and, of course, strategy, management, and building games, which we are focusing on here on the channel, then I would appreciate if you also might consider to subscribe and check out some of the live streams we are doing. We will definitely do one next week when InZOI is going into early access, and we might actually check out the InZOI Studio demo tomorrow, which is Thursday. Yes. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Cut. Cool. And that's how you record a video for the YouTubes. Yes. Yes. Now I have to create a thumbnail, but I will do all of that later. Um, 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 um. I'm thinking. No. You know what? You know what? I think I have a better idea. I think I have a better idea. I think we are cutting it here. I think we are cutting it here. And I will focus on some of the videos I wanna have been done till tomorrow. And then we can check out the InZOI Studio thing tomorrow. And then I have more time tomorrow, and I don't have to switch between creating videos and live streaming and all that. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, folks. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate that. I will be back tomorrow with the InZOI studio, and we will build some beautiful houses, I hope. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. Until then, stay safe and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Ka-ching! Also, let me run some ads. If you want to support that, I would definitely appreciate that. Thank you. folks, thank you so much for watching, and thank you also so much for watching the ads if you did. If you didn't, that's fine too. And I see you tomorrow. We are done for today, and I wish you a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.